investing in memes. That's how I feel
True,
about it.
and yeah, true, and I feel that the people that are more keen to, the meme coin degent mania, to call it that. When they came here, they found out that it's not, another Boom. It's not going to be another Bonk. It's not another Pepe. It's not another, you know, mother, daddy, what have you, meme coin. It's actually built on community with a product that makes sense, with a journey, with true, I feel, very good leadership, and in the right place here at Mantle.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's something we've been saying since day one, but time is certainly tester, right? It tests us, tests people, and I'm happy to see that the community retention and the numbers and everything, because I look at my analytics. We've been doing very well compared to, I think, other projects, price-wise too, as of recently, as you were pointing out. Did we start the banter, by the way? Are we recording this?
Yep, I've started recording. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, that might be a good point to actually start. So, welcome to
Yeah,
the
that was
Guardians podcast. I think we got some
a
interesting
freaking
topics today. We're going to talk about some elections, some airdrops, and more. So, I'm Jordan Coleman, OG Dragon Guardian. Let's go around and just everybody introduce themselves really quick, and then we can get started.
Hey guys, I'm Diaz Dragon Prime Gaga, reporting for duty, as always, serving you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. My name's Hazza. I'll be talking tonight a bit about airdrops and a little bit about cMETH and Cook, which are the hot topic at the moment. So looking forward to talking about that. Go ahead, Hero.
Yeah, Hero here. I'm gonna just here to chill. I'll chime in if I have something to say. Actually, there's something I think I might mention towards the beginning when we're talking about the overall crypto landscape, unless someone is already planning to talk about it. But um, yeah, that's me today.
You want to go
Yeah,
ahead,
so
CC?
I'm crypto counselor, and I'll just take this opportunity to say that nothing you hear in this podcast should be considered financial advice. Nothing is considered legal advice, and every one of us, except for Gugu Gaga, is not a member of the core team. So anything that five of us say is should only be taken as speculation with regard to Puff or really the crypto market as a whole. So thanks.
Can you hear me now?
You can hear me now, Block.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I'm Block. Looking forward to tonight's episode. I'm yeah, it's going to be a good one. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of that, we had a couple of key events happen recently in crypto, and one of those is the U.S. election. We'll try to keep it apolitical as possible, but I do think it is good to discuss the ramifications in general and in crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I actually stayed up quite late here in Cyprus to watch it. So I believe there's two in total, one right now and one in September, if I'm not mistaken. And I was quite shocked to see the response by President Biden. He didn't look very sharp. To me, he looked like a man that was lost in his thoughts. And I think that's something that the Trump camp was, quickly marketing today and pointing out the weakness in the opponent, right? What was your reaction? Did anybody else watch it?
Yeah, I did.
Well,
Go ahead, Block.
I think we should be a little careful about getting too far into U.S. politics, except for how it impacts the crypto space, right? But I will say the debate was disappointing overall, and my expectations were already pretty low going into it. So that was relatively hard to disappoint me, and I left disappointed. Um,
Yeah.
but just like in crypto, everyone can be feeling horrible on Wednesday and Friday. Something else happens, and everyone's feeling pumped again. And so, you know, it looks bad for Biden. It looks bad for Trump too. But anything, literally anything can happen. I think it's too late from a political standpoint to switch out a candidate at this point, unless something actually really does happen to one of the candidates health wise that makes them unable to serve as president. Um, but literally anything could happen. Trump could fall down and be old and look Biden. I agree, Biden, of course. Just his ass off, and it didn't matter. So it was bad all around. Bad choices for Americans in politics. But I think what's important is we've seen to some limited degree something of a shift in the political stance on crypto. I know we've got the SEC going after Lido today, and we've got Coinbase going after the SEC. What was it, yesterday or the day before? Um, so there's still some tumultuous stuff going on. But I think what we will see going into the election, regardless of which candidate is in the lead, um, a pro crypto sentiment and certainly a pro financial market sentiment overall, right? It's not in the best interest of either of the parties to let the American economy sag leading into an election. Um, so I would say for the next 4 to 6 months, you can probably count on the general sentiment of U.S. politics to be pro crypto, which is good for our bag.
Very good. Yeah. And like you said, to me, I think that's the important part too. Um, both candidates have said that they're pretty much be pro crypto, and which is I think is very positive. And the current administration, even though they do throw up some roadblocks, ultimately they are pro crypto too. They're just trying to sort out which ones are legal businesses and making sure you're following correctly and all that type of stuff, which is at the end goal good for the industry because it makes us legitimate.
Absolutely. I think it's important that all these institutions and the framework is being set up. We have products now that can really connect institutions and organizations and different financial institutions to crypto. And I feel that's overall net positive. It's definitely the space has evolved a lot ever since, previous cycles. And I look forward to the MiCA rules over here in the European Union. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in this continent. But absolutely,
Yeah,
I
that,
think as time passes, we'll get more legal, financial clarity, so institutions can, move on and take their risks, assessments, and everything to, as someone said, pump our backs.
yeah. And don't forget, just because they're rich doesn't mean they're not degens. I think that's a common misconception that some people have. There's definitely rich
Yeah, I mean,
degens too.
I think I saw somewhere that like 70% of the people that are actually using the Bitcoin ETF, they're, private investors. So they're people like you and me.
Exactly, that's a good point. I think that's a good point to move on. What Bitcoin's at 60K, right? By most charts, it's at the lower range of consolidation. So historically, whenever you buy in the lower range of consolidation, it's a good time to buy. Are you guys currently picking up anything, or are you reevaluating your crypto portfolio? Are you making any moves in general? I mean, I could go first. I mean, sure.
Most,
So,
I mean, yeah, I don't want to be speaking all the time, so I'm just gonna,
yeah, you're good.
wait for others to say, and I'll share too.
My
Go
old
ahead.
my
You're
old my old
Hero.
portfolio has been absolutely crucified in the last couple of months, but
I
I've kind of
know.
been playing. I've been playing it safe, and I've rotated a lot of my portfolio back into ETH, and that's pretty good having it on mantle because obviously, ETH kind of is associated with Puff, and there's so many kind of additional earning opportunities on it. So you have that stability of ETH, but then you're also getting some extra yield, and then getting all these extra airdrops through Carrick and through Eigen and then Puff as well. It's kind of a nice safe haven to have.
If I was going to add anything, I'd say that I had a few stables on the side, but the last dip, I'm pretty much all in now. So I'll start taking profit again when we hopefully get a bit of pump. But I don't know. Yeah. To say we won't go lower, that would be an assumption that I've often been wrong with. But I'm kind of enjoying this stage. Puff is doing well against it's showing a lot of strength. And really, with Puff showing that strength, I'm happy if everything else stays. If ETH stays at the price it's at, because at some point I'd like to. I don't know what the ultimate decision. We're going to go on to talk about that later, but I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know where Puff's going to be in 2 months' time. So there's a lot to consider. And one of my theories is I'd like to rotate some of that back into ETH. So, what I would like Puff to keep building and be able to rotate back into a ETH that's still consolidating. So I'm happy where we're at the moment.
Go ahead.
Mhm. I think 60K is a nice round number. My base case, unfortunately, is I feel that we might go a little bit lower at some point. It wouldn't surprise me. And I might consider buying at that point in time the family fund. But apart from the any Bitcoin we have on the ledger, which is tucked away forever, um, pretty much we rotated from Bitcoin to ETH the past few months ago actually. So speaking of the institutions pumping our backs, I mean that's what happened with the Bitcoin ETF, right? Or the anticipation from ever since the intern at Coin, what is it, Telegraph, whatever it was, made the mistake and we started going up. And then with the approval and issuance and the flows and everything, I think most natives, I think, switched to at least a portion of their Bitcoin. I think they must have switched from Bitcoin to Ethereum. Although the bigger whales are always Bitcoin whales, right? Number one whale, the biggest whale would be people that have Bitcoin, I would think. And then they got into ETH and stuff like that, and Solana and so on and so forth. So not bad to consider if you have some dry powder on the side, on financial advice, of course. Um, but I do think Ethereum, Puff even, will definitely have their day in the sun, and I I look forward to seeing what's going to happen with the Ethereum ETF. But yeah, overall net long crypto in general, the majors, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then maybe other products that might exist in other chains are interesting. So I look forward to seeing what's going to happen, especially after the flows from the Ethereum ETF come through. Well, so we'll have to see. Still some paperwork to be arranged for that, I believe. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, so
What do you think about
honestly, like
Bitcoin?
I I think regardless, like I said, I would like it to consolidate for a long period of time because that just means more bull market traditionally. So I really like that part about it. And I'm actually glad that we're not just gonna go straight green candle to like 90K and crap out. So that makes me feel good that we'll get a full bull market this time. And then I think that will allow enough liquidity flow to go to things like L's twos and then memes on L's twos and they'll blow up. So that's my base case anyway. So right now I'm max risk, I'm not gonna lie. But I always do this and when I feel like the cycle is halfway through the cycle, I move it to more traditional things, a lot of Bitcoin and ETH. Right now I just feel like the cycle is young, so I'm max risk. Not a strategy for everybody. I understand you can lose it all, and I understand that risk, but to be honest, I am looking in July to move to a more traditional asset. I've just been trying to outperform the market, so.
Why July in particular?
Uh, I was around Puff's time period
Okay, I
just
see.
because it kind of aligned. So, and plus, Cook is a more
Okay,
traditional asset anyway. So that's the way I was looking at it, and was just gonna
okay,
focus around
yeah,
that.
fair
Speaking of that,
enough.
have you guys been doing any other methods to make any money when a market is down, such as airdrops, anything around that?
Yeah, I
I
got
know Wormhole. Yeah, go ahead, Haza.
Yeah, June has been pretty good actually for airdrops. Um, First big one was the ZK Sync one. A lot of people were upset with it though, and then it got labelled a scam on Twitter, and lots of people kicked off because there were a lot less eligible wallets than people thought there would be, and everyone was just taking the traditional approach of putting transactions in and volume, and then it wasn't done like that at all. And they gave multipliers if you held certain NFTs and things like that. I was quite lucky because I got into NFTs on ZK Sync, so that was a bit of a fluke, really. But so I got some money from that, which I did rotate, but too late. I thought it would do better than it did, and the price has just been down only since they launched, which seems to be a bit of a theme at the moment because Layer Zero did exactly the same thing. Everyone thought it would be like 10, 15 billion FDV, but then it launched and it's now less than what the VCs paid into it for. So that's not looking good either. So yeah, that got labelled a scam too, because so many people are upset with it. So yeah, that was interesting. Um, and then a couple of days ago there was Blast. I haven't touched Blast myself, so I'm not really sure how the sentiment is with that. Jordan, I know you've been
Yeah.
touching it, haven't you?
Yeah, we have a
Honestly,
blast,
like
Jordan here. Uh-huh.
yeah, honestly, like people were mad at Blast just because I think they were gonna launch higher. But understanding who the founder is and him making Blur successful, I just feel like he launched it at a low FDV to essentially punish the Jeters, just like he did with Blur. So that is my guess. I think in a week or two, when he releases more utility for the Blast token, I think it's going to go up. But I mean, it's still above the release price. So at least in that metric, in a red market, that's not bad. I think it eventually, when enough utility comes or once the Jeters are out, I do think it is going to pump because Blast, in my opinion, stole Mantle's idea with the native yield, right? But I think they have both a place in the market because Mantle's more traditional, very like safe in that type of way, and then Blast is more like a fun DJing chain. So if you're a DJ at nature at heart and you want to gamble or you want to, leverage your stuff to make more percentage, then you can do that as well. So
I think
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
probably
I
followed
think there's
early.
different. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, because I was just gonna say there.
Go for it.
There was a couple of different ways to get this airdrop. Right, there was the points, and then there was the gold. And I think that the people who deposited early and with a lot of capital felt like they got rugged a little bit because it's at the end it seemed like was a lot of it was weighted towards gold. I saw someone on Twitter, they deposited 50 million onto Blast and they ended up maybe getting 100K out of it after they deposited pretty much right at the start. And then you have someone that has just focused on gold, kind of outperforms them with little to, or like maybe, I don't know, 5% of the capital or even less. Like I know someone who maybe they were operating on 10K capital and they ended up making 35K, 45K at the launch price. So if they hold on to that, that's 90K. So they're making the same as that guy or girl who deposited 50 million at the start. So yeah, I don't know. It seemed to be you had to be active in terms of earning
yeah,
gold and being active on the chain
exactly.
rather than just letting your fund sit there.
Yeah, you had to be active and then you had to know the system. So there's a system of farming points. I mean, you still make a decent amount, but if you didn't have like a system to it, then you probably weren't farming that many points, like you said. But to me, that's the fun part of it. But not everybody agrees. So
All this airdrop farming takes, I feel, a lot of time to be on top of things. And yeah, personally, I don't have that much time for that. There's some main, protocols that I have farmed, let's say that we have farmed. Um, Last, I played a little bit with Fantasy Top. I like the concept. We were for a little bit in Crypto Valleys which is basically down to zero ever since then. Um, but I feel there's different products, right, that cater to different types of market segments, different preferences by people. And time will tell how successful these products are, and we'll see the liquidity. As far as I know, I think there's lots of people that are trying to bridge out. You have to use only the native bridge, I think, is working, and that takes 14 days to take your funds out from Blast. So we'll see what the next capital rotation and what is the loyalty of the users at Blast, because the that's the ultimate criterion, right? User loyalty. Where do people want to stick around? Where do people want to put their money down? And it's becoming a little bit of um, a little bit of a saga, right? To what's the next rotation? Where do I farm? With what team do I go and I speak? Which Discord to join? Which Telegram to join? And I think people are catching up to the fact that this airdrop meta is losing some traction. I'm sure there's going to be more airdrops, and some of them are going to be lucrative. But even from the beginning, people's expectations on airdrops are very misguided. I feel. Uh, Giro did a lot of that. It might be responsible for a lot of that because people heard how many, the tens of thousands of dollars that people got just by staking their soul. And I think that created a very inaccurate perception that you can like somehow 10x or something from airdrop farming, and that's just not real, right? If you want to 10x, you have to buy a token or, do your research on that. But if you're farming with your ETH, going from chain to chain, it's not gonna, yeah, 10x it for you, but it can nonetheless be lucrative. And we've seen some lucrative, at least personally, airdrops with, I can speak to Ethena, I can speak to Wormhole, Stagnant was Poo Poo. We got something for ZK Sync and Layer Zero as well, but nothing great. Same for Blast. So you know, it's how much time you have. But at the end of the day, I think people are getting, bored of it, as my daughter is saying, and they will want to find a place to park the capital and actually use the different products on the ecosystem that they're going to be at. And I think that's where, again, the competitive advantage we have here at Puff and at Mantle with having a very vibrant, I would say, even though we're not as mature as Arbitrum, let's say, or other L2s. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting products for people to use in the Mantle ecosystem. And we heard the town hall the other day with the innovation with the stable coins, the Bitcoin, and also the Cook, the LRT stuff. So I think it's a promising ecosystem. That's why personally, one of the reasons we're here. And yeah, that's how I see that's my perspective on airdrop farming.
The
Just
thing
make sure you
about
don't get
the
rugged by the
that's it. I
protocol
mean,
you're trying to farm.
I was just going to add that the idea of airdrops fundamentally is to keep people in the community, but the problem with the valuations that they're putting on these airdrops now is just pushing people out of the communities. Wormhole, for example, launched at 3.5 billion. They dropped 3.5 billion in their airdrop. As soon as I got my airdrop, I sold it straight away at, I don't know, something like 140. And it was up pre-sale. People were buying at 170, and it's sitting at 33 cents now. Like
That's
it's
crazy.
crazy how much it's dropped.
I mean,
Whereas
they're
that's where I kind of feel that Mantle get it right, and I'm hoping that'll be the same with Cook and with cMETH and any drops that happen. Get the valuation right, but keep people in. I've just seen something in the chat where CC and El Brian were talking about seeing comments about members of both Discords asking how to bridge from Blast to Mantle. I mean, that kind of says it all, really. You get your airdrop, you sell it, you move onto a better protocol where you can use your money and gain some yield. I think, yeah,
yeah,
I'm quite enjoying the way that Mantle are setting it all up. Really, I think they can take a lot of the market share.
a lot of these VC coins that you're referring to, that's a franchise people. Many of them are pre-programmed to only go down from launch, right? because they've been pumped up so bad with the FDV side from the different investors and so on. And when they come to market with a low float, that's what you get. You have to, something has to give. And many people have caught on to this, I think, is the last few weeks. There's been more awareness of this low float, high FDV, meta that we've been seeing people talk about. Um, yeah. And I would like to maybe see point systems be used more innovatively. Like perhaps if you come and you offer your capital and you're useful and contribute to the protocol, why don't we count points towards that? And based on your points, we can give you an allocation at the, as a seed round, investor. That would be a nice use of the point system, right? Not just tracking your progress and how much um, uh, airdrop you're going to get one day, And even the airdrop you're going to get one day, we've seen a lot of controversy into how that is distributed, right? From pretty bad, like StarkNet, to trying to do the right thing and filter out as much civil people as you can. And we saw that with Layer Zero and zcasing to an extent as well. So yeah. Hero, did you have something to say about this? I think I cut you off before, or somebody was going to talk.
No, I think
You're farming
I
too, right? You are your farm, like you're a
not to be honest,
heavy
not too
farmer.
much, but I know people that, like Jordan was saying, they've got it off down to a fine art, and they like it is a grind. But you if you pick the right ways to do it, you can make a lot of money. So yeah, like I said, I knew a couple of people who farmed Blast, but they were farming the right things on Blast, like Captain and Co. Like at the start, got people so much gold, and like some people make a year's wages just out of farming Captain and Co. For example. Uh, I
Mm.
wasn't as I wasn't as kind of in deep as that. I kind of got lucky actually with Blast because I
I saw you
uh,
tweeted about that. Huh?
no, I don't think I tweeted about Blast, but I went through a stage earlier in the year when Blast was starting. I was kind of quite active on Twitter. I was doing a lot of guides to decentralized finance. But with that, I put a little Blast reference in my Twitter, and I somehow just got a shitload of Blast references. So I was just farming. I was just getting because you got 16% of gold from references, which was really really good. So I think one or two of my references were just massive farmers. So I ended up doing I didn't do amazing, but I did decently well without actually having to farm myself, which was pretty nice.
It says here you earned 57,000 blast in Blast Layer 2's Phase 1 airdrop. Join the mission to unbank the unbanked and earn native yield and blast in Phase 2. Is this what Pacman is putting you to do? Like apart from downloading the app and watching that video? Is this another requirement?
So what you had to do was you just went to the airdrop website, and before you could claim it, you were forced to watch the video. The video was okay, to be honest. It wasn't too long. And then once that happened, you have to download the app, and after you download the app, then the airdrop gets processed. So for most people at the very start, it came very quickly. I had to wait maybe 30 minutes because there were so many people trying to download at the same time. And then even on Blast, like Jordan was saying, maybe punishing the cheaters. There was a lot of cheaters at the start because on Blast the gas is supposed to be quite low. But I wanted to try and provide some liquidity uh, on the Blast ETH because there was so much activity on it. But it was costing me like $30 just to make the transaction to provide liquidity, and that was rejected. So I ended up spending like $50 trying to just provide liquidity on Trust or Finance, and I wasn't even able to do it. Like usually the gas cost on Blast is maybe 2 cents. So it just shows you how much activity there was on it around the time of the airdrop.
How's that? You have some big news, I heard. On the street, the streets are hot and it's saying that you got the alpha.
Yeah, there was some just surprising news about an hour ago. I was watching Steady Lads podcast, and then someone asked a question about cMETH, Cook, and Puff, and then all of a sudden, Geordie said, "Oh, there's going to be 8,888 Puff NFTs," which I was shocked to just suddenly hear about that. So that's exciting news. And yeah, so that's a number we've heard before. I don't know if that's related to the Genesis mints or how they're going to be distributed, but yeah, exciting news, definitely.
Well, since Jordi spilled the beans, I can confirm that there will be an NFT product, which we're working on. It's going to be quite novel, I think, and it tries to work together with the uh, with the Puff's penthouse and the character you see there. So it's something that the team's been working for a good amount of time. And again, there's always delays when you're working with other people and things come up. And so we're working hard to try and deliver that to you guys as soon as possible. I was hoping we could squeeze it maybe tonight, but it's not going to happen. So in the next few days, you'll see more about that. And I'll let
Yeah,
Yorti say more.
I have three questions. I don't know if you can answer, but I have to ask. Will the NFTs have utility?
We'll shall see.
Okay.
Question two.
Do they have a mint? Do they have a mint cost?
We shall see.
Okay. And can we minimalist BMT? Is that what BMT is for?
BMT will be able to be used towards the NFTs in some way, yes.
Ooh,
I can
interesting.
confirm at least
Okay,
one out of three.
okay.
Oh,
Great
Y'all heard
question.
that?
One out of
Great
three.
Don't
question.
say I don't do anything for you.
Uh, yeah. So more, we'll have to wait for Yorki to announce that. But since officially we're, today scheduled to finish chapter 5, at least that's some good news to put out. And it's on my place to say more, so I will just shush, and then Archdragon will come in and definitely give you guys lots of information about that. And lots of information later on as well will come for the chapter 6 ultimate decision, which again, as I communicated today in the Discord, we might take us a couple of more days of an extension. So instead of July 9th, we might, go until July 13th or 14th or something. But uh, please stay tuned for that. Just trying to set expectations so people don't start chasing me around on Discord and goo gaga, what's going on? What's going on? It's July 9th and you guys haven't given anything. Are you going to rug us or anything? Like, so I'm trying to bypass all of that drama and just ask for the community's patience and understanding that we're always working in your best interest. I think now you can see that, especially people that started from chapter 1 and are today with us, can understand now what we meant by a positive EV game, right? So we'll be consistent with that and try to give a great ending, which is everything, right? We've all been working towards this ending, and that's why Jordi as well and all the team are really, spending a lot of time thinking and trying to come up with a strategy that's going to be in the best interest of everyone in the community. And everybody, had to add mantle for that as well, right? Because meth holders will also receive something, and we'll have to wait and see more for that.
interesting with the numbers though. Like, so
It,
8,888 NFTs, 8,888 green potions, but it's
Oh,
about BMT. Yeah, so Haz
is
and
that
I
a
were talking
requirement?
about. Well, I don't know. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Would it go to
we,
the green potion holders? But
yep,
now that we know BMT's involved, I don't know. This is confusing me
yeah,
now.
yeah. If
Maybe
we
you need
have, do
both.
we have anybody from Asia in the audience? Maybe they can talk about the significance of the number 8 in the Asian culture as it pertains to
I'm gonna
Confucius
Google that.
type of. Yeah. I think it's considered a lucky number. Eight,
Like
eight.
the green potion,
Saying
the green
prosperity.
potion would tend to be a white, like the initial kind of white list, I suppose. And then I assume, like, out of the 8888 green potions, a lot of those would not mint the NFT during that period because, it was a while ago, so some of them might be a bit more inactive now. And then, I don't know, maybe after that you bring in the BMT. Also, there's a lot of long term puff holders that don't have the green potion, so yeah, it would be probably unfair just to only give it to those 8888 green potion holders. But maybe that could act as some sort of initial whitelist. I don't know.
Or maybe the BMT can get me laser eyes.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or
Hmm.
puff with the jump trait.
Yeah,
That would be the rare. Or the fly trait.
I
Well, I'll just
wonder.
say that the number 8 is just a very lucky number. So I hope people will be lucky. And I think we're all going to be lucky here on club. We already are for meeting each other and being here.
It'd be interesting to know
nice.
the number of holders of BMT. We could look that up quite quickly, couldn't we?
We could. I'm not the data guy, but I'm sure we can find out eventually if we really wanted to. Or if you got the contract
I,
address.
I was thinking yesterday, the only bad thing about not having the BMT games is we don't get micros statistics. I really miss those. We need to get a BMT game just to get micro back on the graphs.
That's funny.
I'm sure there's lots of statistics Micro can compute, but I think he's on vacation, right? So
Is
we
he?
look forward to having him back, yeah, here in the Discord. As far as I know, I think he's on vacation. So
He put some
let's let
Busy
him
guy.
tell us.
he put some data on Twitter yesterday, which was good. That was all about the number of potion holders. That was good info. And
Oh, nice.
as Bitnik just said in the chat, 10,508 BMT holders at the moment.
Hmm.
Actually, more than I thought.
Yeah.
That's a nice spread.
Yeah, just
It's,
pulling up the
it's
chart that. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, it just the only other thing that's making me kind of consider this BMT link and is the kind of fly to six, the fly to chapter six, and the median. I don't know how you would get a median reward for an NFT. You either have one or you don't. It's there's a lot to consider. It's quite exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If that's the case, then
Yeah.
I guess they missed out by doing autofly. Unless they have enough from chapter three.
Yeah,
They might have
exactly.
enough from chapter three.
I think
Yeah,
most of the people who did autofly would have participated in chapter 3. You would have thought. But
yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Or
I
just
think
I,
that's
create an
it.
NFT marketplace where we're bidding. We can bid BMT on buying the NFTs,
Ooh,
right?
the higher ranks.
Where your
Yeah.
BMT is. Yeah.
maybe the partner
that
is the
sounds super
NFT
complicated though.
marketplace. Interesting.
Has there been
That's
though? I can't remember a launch of NFTs where you can bid on like the maybe the rarest tier. It's usually anonymized or you can't see beforehand. But it would be interesting if there was some sort of market where if you were willing to spend some more BMT, you could maybe get the rare traits, or I don't know, maybe they're going down a totally different route and they won't have like I suppose we're all thinking in our head, yeah, it's going to be Puff PFP that has different traits, but maybe it'll be something different.
Would be cool. I'm max ending my BMT
what
then.
is
I'm doing the max.
Hmm.
what is for sure is that people will now learn something new and put another batch on their DeFi belts about yeah, NFTs and listings, and they'll learn about terms like what's a drop, what's a reveal, and so on and so forth. So I think it's going to be a fun learning experience and meaningful one as well, since there's only going to be 8,888 NFTs, and I think there's more people here at Puff, definitely more members in the Discord. So yeah, I think there'll be good demand for the NFT,
Yeah, for sure.
but
I think
we
Demand,
shall
I think
see.
Vias
demand
just
for
We shall
confirmed
see.
an
NFTs. That's.
NFT marketplace. Thanks for
I think.
confirming that, Vias.
Yeah, I think
NFT
you're right, Jade.
marketplace
All right.
slash
We'll
silent
see.
BMT auction confirmed.
Oh wow. I'm
That
bullish
does
on
say it
DMT.
all.
I
That
don't
does say
know.
it
We
all.
shall see. We shall see.
We shall
But
see.
I know you're gonna be very creative with the different scenarios, so I look forward to reading them in the Discord. And let's see who's
Speaking
right.
of
Who of you all will be right? Who's gonna be the correct one, the accurate prediction?
Maybe Puff can revive the NFT market because it is pretty dead right now. It actually would have been. You were talking about Trump earlier on. Imagine if he had shielded his own NFT connection during that debate. The price just would have went stratospheric.
I got a mythical NFT from Grass today,
Oh,
which is going
Oh,
to
I saw
be,
those.
essentially worthless. But
Nah,
but my
dinner's on
thing
you
is
tonight.
Congratulations.
mythical, so that's cool. It's like top 1% for rarity, so that means absolutely nothing to me. It's
Dinner's
Where
one
did
on
you
of
get
you.
two
that, Jade?
NFTs that I say what?
I said dinner's
Where
on
did you
you
get those?
tonight.
Because I signed up my Soul account, my Soul wallet for Grass. But where did you see the announcement for that NFT?
Oh, that's in their Discord.
Okay, nice. I'll have a look.
I missed it
Yeah.
as
the
well for the
counselor
last year. I think it's over now though. But it
roams.
was. I thought initially it was a free mint, but I think you had to pay maybe one. It was about $130 worth of Sol to mint it, so I kind of just left it. I wanted to do it because I have been farming grass for the last number of months or last couple of months, but I don't know. I just felt like I didn't want to dump any more money into NFTs.
Hmm.
I mean, they're for sale right now on Magic Eden for like one soul, I think, if you really want one, but
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't pay that.
I don't know much, so I can't really help with anything here.
Speaking of speculation, I know we had the Mantle Town Hall, and thankfully a couple of the Garden Dragons win. Do you want to talk about anything that you guys learned in there about cMETH and maybe how it intersects with Cook?
Yeah,
Yeah,
give us a TLDR.
it was good actually. There was a few people representing Puff in there, which was nice, and we asked a few questions about how the allocation of Cook might work for Puff. The tokenomics of Cook haven't yet been finalised by the sounds of it, so we'll hear details on cMETH on Monday, I believe. So how the season one's going to work, but we won't hear about the allocation of Cook for Puff until a bit later, by the sounds of it. That's the gist I got anyway. So I don't know how much later, but presumably we'll hear about that from Geordie too when it comes into the final decision. So yeah, I think we'll probably have to wait maybe another week or so before we get any information about that. We shall see.
Does that mean we're gonna make it to TLDR?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, awesome. That's what I want to hear.
No, but yeah, it'll be interesting to hear how the rewards for cMETH are going to be split out. Which, yeah, we'll get a lot more detail on Monday about that. So that's when season one kicks off, and season one's going to last 100 days. So that's quite a long time. So yeah, over 3 months of being able to get points, which they're calling powder, for cMETH and Cook. So that'd be cool.
What one thing I was thinking about Hazard was, actually, they're launching. I think they're calling it Metamorphosis, something like that. But they're launching that at the same
Metamorphosis.
time. Yeah, that's the one. They're launching that at the same time as kind of Chapter 6 is going to launch as well. So I'm just there's going to be this balance between where to bond your meth. Really, do you bond it there for season one, or do you bond it in season for Chapter 6? So it'd be interesting to see what the balance is there.
Yeah, I
I
would.
still think that you'll get more reward for the penthouse personally.
Yeah, I think, or potentially, like, if you were to bond your meth on the penthouse, it would be the same rewards as you would if you were to say lend it in it or somewhere like that. But then obviously on the penthouse you get the puff rewards on top. Um, but as for earning powder, I would guess maybe the DeFi apps are all going to offer the same amount of powder. But I'm guessing that's the sort of detail we'll hear about on Monday, which would be good.
Bitnick's just confirmed that Pendle is coming for method they confirmed that as well.
Yeah, so it
Yeah, it's
sounds
pretty
like they'll,
exciting.
yeah, they'll,
All coming together. Lots
yeah,
of partnerships.
I think they'll play a big part
Yeah,
in the strategies that are going to be going into cMETH, which is cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
The
excited.
Pendle thing is very exciting. I think it's a it's another level of products that you can offer and attract people of various risk profiles, which is what it is at the end of the day. What we're trying to do, offer that. And yeah, I want to say that the word metamorphosis is a Greek word and it means transformation. And you guys know that York is a very, deep intellectual guy. So I can let your imagination ponder what that means, the transformation. So yeah, that's important too.
Interesting.
It will be a transformative, I think, experience.
Another
Turn your
Well, the
one
interesting.
X
ultimate
into a
decision.
10.
What's that?
We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this big decision that we're going to have to
I'm sure there'll
make.
be lots of banter in a couple of weeks' time. I look forward to it. I really do.
Do you think, Vias, do you feel that the ultimate decision is a decision that we will be able to discuss in the community? That is something we can come together on, or is it going to be something that might split us? What's your thoughts on that?
What do you mean something that might split you like in a negative way? Like,
No, just my first thought about it was that uh, crypto is typically a place of greed, whereas kind of our community, Puff community, has always been about coming together, working together. Uh, do you feel that the ultimate decision will be something we can discuss and move together as a community, and discuss the best option, or is
oh,
it going
I
to be
see.
so cutthroat that it's going to be one or the other, and you almost need to take the opposite to what people are looking to do?
Um, I mean, there'll be two paths, and people will have to choose one of the paths. And the decision of taking one path will influence maybe who might want to take the other path or the same path. So I expect a lot of game theory to happen uh, during that time. I hope that answers your
Makes
question.
sense. Yeah, no, it does. It does. It's a. I guess it's
But I, but I,
a small
but I
small fear
think
of mine.
Yeah, I think it will open up yeah lots of conversations, lots of critical thinking, what makes sense, and it'll be I think at the end of the day it'll depend on your appetite for risk. So I can say that. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's all along, right? Dark Dragon, Golden Dragon, Degen Dragon, more conservative dragon. So it'll be fitting to both types of dragons. The question is, what type of dragon are you?
I just want to be the dark golden dragon, like
The
50-50,
dark
split me down the middle,
hybrid dragon, hybrid dragon, third
hybrid.
option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
well,
are your
I will
thoughts,
look forward to hearing what you will end up doing, Block, and everybody out there for that matter. Yeah.
JC?
My thoughts. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like that pretty much. Um, yeah, whatever option it is, I think it's both gonna be profitable, especially when the market is red. Can you ask for anything else? So as long as
Jordan,
that continues on, I'm happy.
if they told you door number one is high risk, high reward, door number two is low risk, low reward, which door of the two would you pass through?
Depends on the market conditions. Right now, taking low risk in a week.
Okay,
CC
fair
just
enough.
CC just put in the chat DeFi versus Degen, and I would love to hear a little bit from CC about that. But my thought about I would choose DeFi over Degen, but then again, I don't want to be locked up. I'm concerned about that. So yeah, CC, what were your thoughts about that? If I can put you on the spot, sorry.
Oh, I just think that that's the natural. I mean, that's the natural assumption. I obviously I don't know all the details, right? But it seems like it's going to be one path, and I mean, the most obvious. So that probably actually means that I'm wrong here. The most obvious of the two paths would be choosing between Cook or Puff, right? We have no reason to believe that Puff dies at the end of the final decision, right? And it's certainly been held back from being a true meme to the extent, from a degenerate standpoint, right? Anyone who bought Puff hoping that it would be a meme like any of the others that we see out there was probably disappointed as soon as they realized that there was some utility lurking in the shadows. So it's reasonable to think that Puff will finally be, so to speak, released from that utility and allowed to fly on its own. And so I think what everyone has been talking about for quite a long time is you would choose one path that would require you to burn your puff in favor of receiving something else. And we know about two rewards that are out there, right? We know about Cook, and then we know about this like pinata of meth and Egan points and Carrick, and who knows what else could be in that pinata. I don't know. I don't know how that pinata looks. If Cook is included in the pinata, or if Cook is given to every puff holder, it's hard to say. But I think the two paths, regardless of all the details, seem to me to be Cook or Puff, right? Cook being the DeFi route, Puff being the degen meme route. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
So to close the podcast out, based on the information that you have now and knowing that you can't do 50-50, which one are you choosing currently?
What's the options?
The final decision, burn Puff for powder for Cook, or keep Puff and get an additional benefit.
Ugh.
My goal would be to convince all of you to go the DeFi route, and then I'll keep my Puff so that you burn all of your Puff in my Puff stores.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I think that the unpopular path or the unpopular path is going to be rewarded. So whoever's in that group that makes the decision that only has a smaller percentage of the people participating, I think they will end up being rewarded more. And especially like at the moment, market sentiment is quite bearish in relation to kind of memes and alts, and sometimes that can be a good time to actually enter the market where everyone else wants to exit. So yeah, I agree with CC. I think you want to convince everyone to go the conservative route, and then you just go
Okay,
full
but these
degen.
I respect it, but these are non-answers. Okay, I'm gonna need a concrete
Oh, okay, puff
Puff
then. Keep them
or
puff.
powder.
Right
I've got
now, I go
12
degen. I go
wallets.
degen
They're
as things stand
50-50.
now. Degen.
No, I haven't got 12 wallets. I wish I had 12 wallets,
I know,
fully
right? I
loaded.
wish I'd been collecting the potions on two wallets. I was too lazy to do that. I
I just
regret
wish
that
I knew
now.
about this when the green potions were available.
Yeah.
I've got one.
That's good
Uh,
Is
enough.
there any?
That's good. You have one.
I'm thinking DeFi at the moment, but I don't want Cook to be vested. I'm okay to lock it up for a bit, but but I don't want it to be vested. If it the parameters come out and it's vested, I would then reconsider. I think. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
I don't want to be greedy. I'm happy. I'd like to keep some puff somehow, but equally, I'm really drawn to the kind of DeFi yield of Mantle.
Mantle's a really cool chain, to be honest. I came to Mantle, I didn't really know much about Mantle, but being on chain is awesome. Like I said, it's like you're getting paid to use the products in a safe way. So it's hard to beat that, you know? So, which I really
Yeah, and
do enjoy Mantle.
I've had conversations with people that came to Puff without really using any other uh, protocols on Mantle. But ever since, since they're around and have bridged a good amount of funds to Mantle, they tried some of the other products with their meth, and yeah, I got very positive feedback, and there's so much building going on behind the scenes. So many developers coming over and hiring them. So I think again, Mantle is just preparing everything. We have an expression in Cyprus. I think I mentioned this to you guys before. It's also relevant to cook, which is funny. But the expression goes like this: um, the children of the wise cook before they get hungry. So it means to be prepared, right? To be proactive. And I think Mantle is doing that. They're preparing, they're onboarding different protocols. We've seen some of the Twitter spaces that they've done with different protocols. I was listening to the one with Native a couple of days ago. So I think as time passes, the ecosystem will mature more and more. These products on meth, on Bitcoin, on stable coins, yield-bearing products, I think they will be quite. They make so much sense for them to be native, and Mantle is innovating just virtue by that. Most people they go to Lido, that's through them, right? It's not their native staking protocol. So I think that's going to give a competitive advantage to Mantle in the long term, right? And with wonderful people like us here at Puff, that's also, I think, a competitive advantage that other communities might not enjoy or have because they haven't cultivated this, 3 month long plus community that has gone through the ups, the downs, euphorias, the despair, but they stand here today strong. And most of us, I think, are positive EV again right now and will be. So win-win situation for all in a very masterfully crafted way by our struggle and main advisor, Yorti. Yeah.
So there's a question, Google, which path are you choosing? And they said in parentheses, real answer.
Once I know all the parameters, because I don't know all the parameters yet, they haven't been decided, I will tell you. How's that? Is that fair?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That works for
And
us.
it's going to probably be a family to the extent decision because, yeah, we've been, all been active here with the family with Path and the games and the different chapters and just teaching my daughter about this internet magic money kind of a thing. So yeah, I'll tell you. Who asked the question? Who asked the question? I missed the chat here.
It was Rogue. Also, is
Oh,
there
Rogue.
any alpha on Carrick? You got any alpha on Carrick or any
I
information
mean,
we
the
should
the
know?
alpha is that there's been lots of different coins farmed, assets that we have due to farming, and I think Yortis's intention and Mantle's intention as well is to give to the community as much as possible. So I think at some time they will find themselves back to the community, and half is a very important part of that. So. I would expect something, to be honest, and I think that's something that Yorti himself mentioned.
Will you send me a bottle of your wine if Puff hints 50 cents?
Absolutely, 50 cents?
Yes.
Oh, come on. You have to shoot higher than for a bottle of my wine,
What?
dude. Come on.
I want the good shit. I want the top shelf shit too. I don't want
Yeah, I'll
the
give
good stuff
you
y'all make.
white wine Sinisteri, a local product of Cyprus, a variety, Cypriot variety of high quality, Sinisteri. I'll send you a bottle for 50 cent pub. Okay. I'll send you one even if it doesn't go there, or even if it exceeds that. I'll even send you one. Although I think the best thing is for you and everybody else to come to Cyprus and we can go to the village and you guys can try the wine IRL right there. That's the right way to do it. So I hope your
Sounds
Sounds
good.
puff
good.
packs can afford you a trip to Cyprus.
Yep. GZ GNZ 11. I might have said it wrong. It's like,
It's the 11. That's it. We also
yeah.
need to talk before we round things up. We also need to talk about Sunday.
Yes.
We've got the kind of mysterious competition on Sunday. I don't
Yeah,
know,
we have a
Vias.
mystery.
You've been talking a lot about that with the team that are organising it. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, shout out to BWAC for bringing the idea forward and for Control helping him in, and also all the OGs for supporting it. It's a mystery game show, as I think it was revealed by the meme video that again Control made for us. And I'm very excited. We have already two contestants that have confirmed. I don't know if they allow me, I can share their names for now, but it's going to be pretty epic and it's something that I really hope it goes very well so we can have it every couple of days and can get as many people on it as possible. I really think it's going to be epic. I'm so excited, guys. I am. Yes.
You've just got the
Uh,
thumbs up from the two
okay, yeah.
contestants.
So we got Melissa and Rogue being the first contestants. Not both of them can go at the same time in this game show, so they will have to tell us who goes first. I don't know if they have made their decision. Maybe they can tell us. Rogue, Melissa, in the chat, or you can come up to on stage too for people to listen to you. That would work too. Up to you. I see them
Just while they're
typing.
deciding, I would
Oh,
just
there we
say
go.
that
Nice.
if anyone else wants to be part of the game show over the next course of the couple of weeks, you can raise a ticket at Puff Desk and put your name on the list. And there's going to be the team are looking into and sorting through all of the applications and choosing some guys for the next upcoming game shows. It's going to be an
Yeah.
exciting few weeks.
We already have, I think, 10 people to go, so we're lock and load for at least two, three, four episodes, perhaps. So, but yeah, I do encourage people to yeah, to apply and come on. Rogue, what's up?
Hello. Um,
Hello.
yeah, we've kind of spoken about it between us, and I think I'm going to go first. So
Ooh,
yeah, Melissa's
guys.
smarter than I am, so we're keeping her in reserve for second.
What's your
That's
thoughts,
wonderful.
Rogue?
Thank you.
What are you thinking?
I have
Do you have any
no
idea?
idea. No,
No
because
idea.
everyone's been so cryptic about it. I am gathering it's going to be some sort of questions, and I, I, I don't know other than that. I don't. I think it's going to be. I don't know. No, no idea.
We shall find out on Sunday, 2 p.m. UTC. And thank you, Brave Rogue, indeed a rogue, and for
Always a rogue.
participating. Yeah, yeah. And then we'll have Melissa. So try to, yeah, I'm sure you're going to do well. And I'm sure Melissa's going to do well as well. And maybe we can have a side bet as to who's going to do better than the two of you and battle
I
it
bet
out.
on Melissa.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you all. And I look forward to seeing everyone live on Sunday, 2 p.m. UTC on our YouTube channel. It'll be streamed from there.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming today. I think it was a productive episode. Hopefully next
Yeah.
time we'll have some events going, Puff, so we can talk about that as well.
Yeah, I look forward to that as well. Take care, and thank you all again for coming. Take care. Stay safe out there.
Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.